GGYS, we're reading Reddit story, so okay, come on.
Don't know why these niggas want beef. Young bro, I just want peace. I just wanna smoke my weed. I just wanna sip my.
Hi my A's, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome back to my channel if you're not new. Today we are RAR, Reddit and Roblox, and today we're doing a creepy pasta Reddit story time, I guess. Stay tuned if you enjoy creepy pastas, because I know that I do. And without further ado, let's get to it. Also, bear with me as I am dyslexic, so kind of stay with me, okay? Starting off as a warm up, it says, Reddit, what is your most disturbing, scary, or creepy real story? Serious. It says, a few years ago, I was walking through the woods of a beaten track off the. What the fuck? I'm already starting off. Oh my god. A few years ago, I was walking through the woods of the beaten track a bit, and I smelled this really overpowering sweet smell. Being nosy, I pulled back the undergrowth to have a look and found a dead body. The guy had clearly been there a while and wasn't looking great, all swollen and green and black with various runny bits. The local wildlife also had been dining well for a few days. I called the police, who told me to wait with the body until they arrived. Being in the middle of nowhere, it took a while for them to arrive, and it got dark. And I was just sat there in the dark with him for a long time. It turned out he had committed suicide. For a long time afterwards, I had dreams about him, and he would talk to me and not nice things, mainly about how he was angry I had disturbed his resting peace, and he wanted me to kill myself. Probably just my imagination, but all pretty disturbing at the same time. He still turns up in my dream from time to time, and no doubt would be tonight after typing this. Damn. Story number 2. I hope my mind was playing tricks on me. This took place in our old apartment when I was about 5 or 6 years old. Part of me still likes to think it was just some crazy trick of the mind that kids experience before their brains fully developed. But either way, it was still eerie as hell. That morning, my dad asked if I would help him bring the Christmas tree up from the basement. Later that day, we lived in an apartment complex, so the basement was a large shared space. Oh my god. And it was a pretty long walk from our unit. About 4 or 5 hours later, my dad called me call me out to come help him. He also asked me to come. Oh my god. He also asked me to stop by the neighbors on the way to see if they needed help with anything down there. I was in my room with the door shut. The weird thing is he didn't actually enter my room, which is what he always did. He still does this to this day. Instead, he just spoke to me through the closed door. I did exactly what he asked and went one floor down and checked on the neighbors. As I was walking back upstairs toward our apartment, my dad was already waiting for me on the landing. He didn't say a single word. He just turned around slowly, started walking down the stairs. At first, I was too freaked out, but the way he was moving down the steps was deeply uncanny. It looked like he was dragging his own weight, barely able to walk straight, wobbling like some sort of junkie. As he dragged himself down, the only sound filling the stairwell was a distinct jingling of the keys and moving in his pocket. When we finally reached the basement, he just stood rigidly in front of the door and muttered, "I don't have a key." But I could swear I just heard his keys jingling in his pocket. The entryway down. The entire way down. What the fuck? The entire way down. To this day, he keeps every single key to he owns on that one keychain. Hear him say that that completely freaked that completely terrified me. I know y'all fucking hate me reading. Anyway, my immediate thought was that he was having some kind of medical emergency because the way he was walking and acting, panicking. I turned around and sprinted back upstairs. As I ran, I looked down. He was still frozen in the exact same stiff pose, staring at the door. I will never be able to erase that image from my head for the rest of my life. I think you all know what happened next when I went back upstairs. I burst into my mom's room crying and yelling that something was wrong with Dad and that he wasn't feeling well. The exact same moment my dad walked in the room from the kitchen. To this day, he swears he never went down the basement with me. What the hell? That afternoon, because he had already brought the tree bought the tree up by himself first thing in the morning. For years, I tried to convince myself that it was just a vivid childhood imagination and that I had subsequently injured myself. Oh my god. Subconsciously conjured an image to my conjured an image of my father, but I've experienced so much more unexplainable stuff later on in life that at the end of the day, I'm pretty much skeptical of the imagination excuse. You know, I feel that, cause no way. Okay, now listen. I want to get on here and say this. I stay in Lake Jackson, but sometimes I come to the city of Houston, and sometimes I'm just around Houston. And one thing I gotta say to y'all, if you recognize my face or you see anything that just kind of look like me or sound like me or just feels like me, if you see me with my mom, please don't sit up there and stare at me. You're a fucking weirdo. Don't stare at me like that, okay? Because I feel like, for one, why are you looking like that? For two, you're just looking and looking and looking. And for three, just say something. It's not hard. Hi, how you doing? When are you gonna post again? All three of those would be fine. You can ask for a hug. I ain't that famous, but I'm just saying, like, damn. Don't fucking look at me. That shit is creepy. That shit is weird. Don't fucking stare at me 5,000 times. It gives off fucking kidnap vibes, okay? No, I'm already short and stubby. Now, you know what? I'm gonna tell you guys my story. Like, I have a couple of creepy stories. Okay, so I was about 12 or 13. I was 12, 13, I was asleep, and I had this dream where I was being chased by two men with like all white on, and like they had like face paint all over their face. One was big and one was big, one was small, one was skinny, one was like obese. um so they were chasing me around my neighborhood that I used to stay in when I was like, what, 12, 13. 12, 13. They were just chasing me around my neighborhood, and I was kind of like screaming like, what do you want? And the thing that really scared me the most is, like, now that I think about it, they were driving like an ice cream truck. And you already know what happened with ice cream trucks like last year. The children being missing in, what is it, Virginia or something like that. Yeah. I felt like, what the hell? That's so crazy, because I literally had like a bad dream with this kind of theme. It's creepy as hell. I don't know if they were trying to be like clowns or what, but like I kept getting chased by them for like 2 months straight in my dream. And it's like one day when I finally got tired of it, I started trying to like run to my house. When I tried to run to my house, I ended up getting to the door. I got to the door. Right when I got to the door, like one of them almost grabbed my arm and like snatched me from my door. But I like, I guess I got lucky. So I got in the house and they started banging on the door. Then my glass door breaks, and that's when I wake up from my dream, and I'm just like, what the hell happened? So I don't know. But let me know in the comments if y'all ever had like a similar bad dream to mine or anything like that, because I really want to know if I'm the only one having like that kind of dream. And it's kind of like the same thing with like the back rooms. I know people are having dreams about the back rooms, and they say that they know like the whole map of the back rooms and stuff, but like with this dream in particular, I want to know if anybody else seen these men in their dreams, because I've never seen them a day in my life. Swear, never seen them a day in my life, but I've always seen them in my dream, and they always had all white on, but like the white was kind of like a dusty brown, like, you know how you like get your shirt dirty, or it's like your shirt been in like dust for like a long time, and that's kind of what it was. And then like they painted their face like this dirty white color, and I don't know, it's either they was already clean and their clothes just got like really really dusty. I have no idea, but it just creeped me out so bad. And it's like, they didn't really talk like that. I don't know if I just told y'all that they said come here, but they just never talked like that. The whole time they were chasing me around with their ice cream truck, they never talked at all. At all. They tried to grab me and still didn't talk. I have no idea. Like, yeah, let me know if y'all ever had like a dream like my dream, because I really want to know. This would be like story number 3, probably the last story. We laughed about our apartment until this morning. My husband and I moved into an old apartment in Italy nearly 2 years ago. We've often joked about our household ghosts because of various experiences we've had, such as doors opening in the morning that were doors being opened in the morning that were closed when we went to sleep, and chairs being pulled out from under the dining room table that had been neatly tucked away the night before. The worst being our downstairs neighbors if asking us to stop stumbling around at midnight when they were trying to sleep. The room in our apartment that corresponds with their bedroom is empty and is used for storage. However, what I experienced today has me left absolutely terrified. We have a baby girl just 5 months ago. We had a baby girl just 5 months ago. She's absolutely amazing in every way. She has a habit of smiling and laughing with empty spaces, but we have put that down to just baby things. This morning she was sleeping while I was reading a book in the living room while I was watching her on the baby monitor. My calm silence broke to the no connection alert on the monitor. At first, I thought they must have been a power out because they're fairly common around here. But my light was just but my light was still on. So I got up and I went to investigate. As I reached the living room door, my baby let out the most howling scream I've ever heard. It genuinely made me nauseous. So I ran to the room and scooped her up out of the cot. As soon as I entered the bedroom, I felt this hideous, hideous suffocation weight. In the room smelled like cigarettes. All my hair was stood up on the end, and my skin littered by goosebumps. It was the only thing I noticed then. The camera hadn't lost power. It had been physically turned off. I have since searched the apartment 3 times for a potential intruder, but there is nothing. I'm still home alone, and the only point of entry remains blocked. I still have no explanation for the switch being off, the smell, or my baby's screams. She was perfectly fine once I held her. Oh, what the hell? What the hell? Okay, so this is not my story. This is gonna be a story from my mom's friend. So my mom's friend, she lived in this house. It wasn't haunted or nothing, but like, these it was people that my mom's friend used to hang around, and they were kind of like stealing out of her house, and like things were being moved, and it kind of made like it seemed like it was a ghost, but it wasn't a ghost. It was actually them. My mom's friend has actually had like more than one picture with them being inside of her house, and like she's in the pictures, but then like she looked back at the pictures and they're in the pictures. And it's like the crazy part about it is these people aren't even dead. They're just, roaming around her house, stealing from her house. And it's like, what the hell? I don't know. But it's just weird to like really think about like somebody stealing out of your house and they're trying to make it seem like your house is haunted. What the fuck? You know? Yeah. Guys, don't forget that if I'm new to the channel, make sure to leave an arrow in my heart, send me love letters, and marry me. Please don't put your phone on D&D. And I'm gonna just translate what that is because I know that is very different. Basically, what that means is to leave an arrow in my heart. That means to leave a big thumbs up. To send me love letters. That means to comment down below. And to marry me, that means subscribe. Don't put your phone on D&D. We should already know that one. Turn on your post notifications, okay? So you will be notified when I post, okay? It helps me help you. Tell me one of y'all's favorite creepypasta that's like out there, like urban legends or whatever. I know one of my favorite creepypastas is probably like something weird like Slender Man or like um just something weird because I'm weird as fuck. Slender Man, I feel like Slender Man, I hated him for the longest. I was scared of him for the longest. No, I'm not even scared of him. It's like whatever. He's in the trees, whatever. um Tell me y'all's favorite creepypasta. So basically this gives you a chance to write me a love letter. Haha. um Also, what snacks did y'all go and get when I told you guys to GGYS? Because I really want to know. And also, tell me more like different story times you guys want to hear on RAR. Because this is probably something that I'm going to do. Because my face when I'm reading, it just looks all scrunched up. Because for one, I'm blind. And for two, I feel like, why not? You know? I always use Roblox for like, entertainment. And I know people love story times too. So, I felt like why don't I just put both of them together? So that's what I did. I just put both of them together. I know you guys are gonna be like, how did you come up with this? Like, how did you come up with that? But yes, it's called RAR. And RAR stands for Reddit and Roblox. Okay? And I would post these probably once a week. Maybe twice if you guys like them that much. But once a week, any other day, it's probably gonna be something different. Probably like a prank or like a vlog. So I think that's it. But not yet. Can I tell y'all the time? Why, let me tell y'all why I hate Slenderman. There's a time when I was like coming from my mom's like job. I was riding with her, and I was just like looking in the trees, and I was like, ah. And so I kind of like started crying because I kind of like dozed off, and so I had like a vivid dream, like a lucid dream, and I had a dream when I was in a car. It was dark, and I had a dream that Slenderman tried to come and get me out the window of the car while I was moving, and it's like kind of like he jumped up at me, like into the window, and I woke up and I was like, oh, nothing even happened to me. I'm fine. Crazy as fuck. I'm sorry, guys. I've been yawning this whole time. I've been like up trying to figure out this thing I'm gonna do for you. Trying to figure out this series, trying to figure out how I should put this thing together. Guys, I'm just so tired. I'm just like burnt out, I guess. But it's also like me staying up very late at night. That's like really tiring me out. Um, yeah. Sorry to like talk you guys' ear off or whatever. But I hope that the background wasn't too loud for you guys. Cause I did try to like, turn it down. I hope it wasn't too loud for y'all. You know. Yeah. Now, while we're here, let's talk about what I was talking about earlier. Please do not just look at me like weird as fuck, okay? Now, that was it for this episode of The Diary. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me as much as I love myself, as much as I enjoy myself. Join my community. Tell me your favorite part of this video and what I should do more of. I'll see you guys later. Let's let the video ride out, and it should be over in a couple of seconds. Good night, everyone.
Don't know why these niggas want beef. Young bro, I just want peace. I just wanna smoke my weed. I just wanna sip my lean. I just wanna pop my pills.